Hello everyone. It's time for a new Friday special. We're gonna let people roll in as I send the messages for every stream for channels. First, through Discord and Blue Sky. Follow me on Blue Sky, by the way. At cutepangies.bluesky.social. But yeah. If you're just joining in, it's finally time. Hi, Twim. Hey, planning on playing this while lurk, but have fun. Thank you so much. And yeah, gonna be playing this. This game has been giving me the stink eye. I've been very excited for this game. So yeah, we'll be playing Of the Devil. So unlike what's showing on my screen, I will be playing episode 0 as well. We're not going to be doing episode 1 immediately. It's just that for testing, like if the DLC is working, I needed to check that before. So episode 1 is working and everything, and yeah. People are telling me that it's pretty cool in Indians and stuff. So I'm in for a ride, is what I'm getting here. Like every Friday special, it's the usual. I will be voicing as much as I can, as best as I can as well. I don't know how long this game is. I have purposefully not looked at anything outside of seeing the devs post on Twitter about it, which gosh, they sure know how to freaking sell their shit. But yeah, basically I'm excited. I'm gonna let ads finish rolling and we'll be live. Let some people roll in as well. Again, if you want to not have ads, well, you can subscribe to the channel, give money to the Twitch and everything, and you get access to the beautiful Larry emotes, as well as future emotes that are coming pretty soon. I have one that is currently, I'm currently working on it. It's just that it happens that this week and next week are pretty filled with like a lot of things that I need to do, so it's gonna be a bit tight. Speaking of which, at the end of the stream, I'm gonna be mentioning something. It's gonna be a little bit of a surprise thing. I am confirmed for that thing. I cannot confirm totally what I'm gonna say. I cannot tell everything, but I have one thing to say. Outside of that, not much. Been doing great. I will mention that next week's schedule is gonna be a little bit weird, and so I will just type in schedule so that people can see where, because next time I will be on Preventathon for both running and volunteering, which means that there's not going to be another stream on Friday for Of the Devil, which is a little bit silly, I know, but do not worry, I will be returning to Of the Devil as soon as that is over. Next week is just very busy for me, and so I don't have much time to stream. So first of all, Monday stream is completely gone. I am not streaming on Monday next week because I have a couple of things that are very important that I cannot delete or I cannot mess around, so I will not stream on that day. I will be streaming instead on Wednesday at the same hour, 9 p.m. CEST. I will be doing some practice for Preventathon, and another thing which I might mention at the end of the stream. Outside of that, yeah, no stream on Friday. Starting in like the next week after that, while I will be helping for Power Up with Pride, I will not be canceling streams because I won't have anything else to do, and that will be nice because I think that the week that's coming is gonna be pretty filled up. But in any case, outside of that, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching the ads and supporting the channel. That always helps. And if you are interested in the Larry modes, obviously subscribe. That would be very helpful of you. That would support the stream immensely. And I am really happy because it means I get to basically play cool games and feel the support of people behind me when I'm streaming this. But in any case, let's actually start. Let's start with episode 0. I will mention that I do not know how the audio is gonna be, so if there's any audio issues, please tell me. Rain sizzles off neon above me. A summer shower creates a noted uptick in the flickering of holograms down the street, and slight blunting of the night's ambience. Emphasis on slight. Lights, cameras, and constant noise. This city's got insomnia, with the uneven heart rate to prove it. There's no escaping the second hand of this energy of it all. Then plenty acclimated. Just a wave of worries resting on the surface while I hold my breath deep below. Besides, a microdose of nightlife anxiety suits my mood just fine. Because if I'm not careful, this client of mine's gonna die in jail. Welcome to Morgan, criminal attorney. It's hard to get away with murder these days. People are still presumed innocent, at least on paper. But by the time they're in cuffs, there's hardly any shadows of doubt left. Because this whole world's lit up, mapped out, never unknown, and always online. Damn gang, it's always online! Whether it's incandescent, or neon, or holo, whether it's LCD, LED, or just the nearest phone screen. There's light shining on every last pixel of the map. And someone's always watching. Solitude's a rarity, anonymity is scarce. And criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. So you take whatever clients you get. You don't balk at public defender work, no matter the hour. And should you find yourself in one of the last dark, quiet corners left in the whole world, well, smoke 'em if you got 'em. Not that there's much else I can do until... my phone? Counselor, your public defender contract has been approved. You're expected at the 254th precinct. Present your ID at the door to enter. Arrive at least 15 minutes early. I'll try. Pleasantry. Looks like the paperwork came through. It's nearly a 3:15 now. 19 minutes since I took the job. Probably makes it about 2 hours since they finally got smart enough to ask for a lawyer. They're really smart. They'll have to use that time to get some rest. Because now that I'm here, things are going to get busy. Of the Devil, episode 0. And he shall appear. I'm gonna enable tutorials because this is the first time I'm playing this game. So let's learn about things. Precinct 254. It's goddamn Ghost Town. Nothing but a hologram for a welcoming party. I'm here about a homicide. High clearance rates be damned. I think they treat it with a little more gravitas. But whatever, if I'm that unimportant, they've got no right to complain if I take my sweet time getting checked in. And I should take my time. Information's like cash in my line of work. You gotta spend it to make it. And you flat clerk? No one will give a shit what you have to say. So let's see if I can't poke around and shake some change loose. Okay. Press the escape key or click the phone icon on the top left to access the pause menu where you can save, load, or check settings, obviously. You can toggle on auto text advance with the A key or check reread previous lines with the L key. Okay, so a log or another text. Use mouse to look around for points of interest that you can click on, or press space to find them automatically. You'll earn credit for investigating anything and everything you can. Credit is both a measure of your information gathering skills and your own credibility. So don't go broke. Alright, so we have a lot of things to go for. An actual police lineup. It's like I walked into a museum. Though museums tend to feel expensive and clean. Dusty, forgotten, probably lots of unpacked boxes. This homicide apartment smelled like an attic. Hard to believe they were so busy that they had witnesses making IDs in the lobby. Then again, it's hard to believe they were doing lineups in the first place. Are you certain? Wasn't it dark? Did you know that during traumatic events, memory formation is blah blah blah? Poking holes in that setup must have been like shooting fish in a barrel, and all during billable hours. There's no room to self-doubt anymore, not when a modded witness can just submit the testimony as a video recording. Assuming the phone didn't automatically file a police report for them. The medium's cracked in the corner. Not bad, but my phone's made of the same stuff, and I'm rolling the dice every time it falls onto off the sofa. Would probably know the warranty on one of these things with a loud sneeze. At least it's not broken entirely. Even at this hour, it's still dutifully scrolling through its notifications. Looks like the usual 1-1 ratio of public health alerts and inoffensive pop culture trivia you always get served at state buildings. But there's a few missing persons too. Meow. Hi Mitty, thank you so much. We're enjoying the game, yeah. We just started. This is the first moment of actually investigating the game. 1 year Silver Plane coverage, courtesy of Caduceus as a reward for any... That was no joke. Family must be getting desperate. Damn. Okay. Do we have anything else to look at? Oh, there's a file here. Datapad. I'll bite. You're quite quiet compared to the game. Oh, my bad. I'm gonna bump myself up. Do tell me if it's better. Game is also a little loud, I will agree. Like, this should be better now. Even when demo, advertisement, and article, they can still be informative. In a flowery, roundabout corporate propaganda sort of way. That's good, thank you. Thank you so much, Mitty. Keep an eye out for articles in your environment. They offer insight on the world around you and credit towards your investigation. Articles are added to your phone's reading list after you first read them. Choose the proper takeaway after reading them and you'll earn additional bonus credit too. So, Subway fixes asked City to refocus on Canopy. Declaring the subway tunnels to be irreparably flooded, City engineers announced this week that all plans to drain and repair the system were being suspended indefinitely. Wow, what a way of taking care of your sewer system, big city. Saltwater damage to sensitive... Oh, saltwater is even worse. Wow, okay. To sensitive electronic cabling and erosion of key tunnel fixtures was cited as reasons for why 89% of the subway system was evaluated as critically compromised or worse. Civil engineering efforts will be refocused on maintenance and expansion of the hybrid super infrastructure system that weaves together trams, highways, and walkways and skyscrapers into the canopy high above our city streets. Ballsy of them, putting the paywall there. As if I'd reach my wallet after having to read a word like aesthetical. Oh, it's scrollable. Whoops. My bad. Thank you so much, Cybernetic Cicerus. I didn't see it was scrollable. Thank you so much. So, reactions to the announcement could be characterized as blasé. It's been years since the subways last ran, and decades since they last ran on schedule. Whoopsie. Yeah, no, it happens. I'm surprised the game doesn't point this out, but colored text indicates something in your phone to read. Okay, so I should be clicking on those? That's weird. It doesn't show anything. But I guess it's leading into a glossary or something like that. But thank you so much. It's glad to know people who have read, who have played the game before and like I'm not missing anything. I'm gonna finish reading the article. Most citizens have long since given up hope on them ever making a comeback. Online chatter barely reacted to the announcement, with most commenters and voters' attentions focused instead on the growing investigation into Councilman Long's campaign finance irregularities. As one of the Canopy's major backers in City Hall, Long has often found himself at odds with a small but vocal group of critics that consider it to be an eyesore and an amplifier of light and noise pollution. And with Long having stepped away from his political duties in order to more fully cooperate with investigators, for the first time in nearly 20 years, the typically rock-steady political foundation of the Canopy was looking uncharacteristically shaky going into this week, but with the subways now officially no longer an option. People and corporations alike have little choice for how they complete their morning commute. However, not all reactions to the news has been negative. At least a few bold individuals see this latest report as vindication and possibly even a rallying cry. Already considered by many to be a rising star in infrastructure solutions abroad, tech startup Subterra made headlines last year with a radical proposal for a system of personal submarine taxi pods that they could make use of the flooded subway tunnels, but momentum stalled when their first prototype for the city came in at a disappointing 3.359% over budget. Though one council member was quoted as calling the system mind-bogglingly wasteful and impractical in the extreme, in light of this latest announcement, Subterra has proudly declared their intent to resubmit their proposal package. Across the entire globe, coastal cities like ours have struggled to find civil engineering answers to rising sea levels and subterranean flooding that satisfy financial, practical, and aesthetical concerns. Starkly, most scientists have attributed this increase in sea level to climate change, though there are dissenting voices. Water rises and falls all the time for reasons we do not fully understand. It appears you have 0 free articles remaining this month. Okay, cool. So now I suppose that most of those colored text is present in like a sort of glossary or something like that. Which if I'm... such terms. Yeah, cool. We have datapads. Lightweight portable electronic devices known as datapads have no significant internal storage capabilities and can only display what is streamed to them from local networks. Okay, sort of like PDA that only feeds from like internets or like general data like streams. Originally marketed as a replacement for ecologically wasteful newspapers, magazines, and flyers, datapads quickly became infamous for the difficulty and expense involved in recycling them once their limited lifetime component expired. Something. Current phones being extremely impossible to repair. It wasn't until they were rebranded as ideal for privacy and security. Ideal. That datapads found success in the private and public sectors, where their ability to display location-locked content helped corporations minimize data leaks and give their advertisements targeted geographic relevance. Yeah, so basically you're forced to see what the things are sending you. Today, datapads are a mainstay of high-traffic public spaces and virtual physical hybrid workplaces, despite remaining unpopular with most environmentalists and bibliophiles. Yes, obviously. Though it outwardly resembles plastic or glass, conductive resin is actually an electromagnetic polymer used in a variety of stationary or portable devices, where its unique properties allow it to act as both a display and a processor, enabling ultra-thin or even transparent electronics. Let's go, we're back to atomic purple levels of things, I guess. There are upwards of 100 different patented varieties of conductive resin, obviously, each intended for different use cases, industries, and environments, but they are all fairly lightweight and fragile, except for the small handful formulated for military and security applications, obviously. Because of its widespread Widespread use in high turnover products such as datapads and smartphones, producers of conductive resin are frequently accused of engineering and obsolescence by consumer rights groups, though these claims have never been proven before court. I love conductive resin clarifying that there is a variant that does not shatter if you look at it wrong. It's just not available to the general public. I mean, yeah, how do you make people pay more for the thing that is already very freaking expensive and like has replaced paper or any other type of material? It's like military always wants something that is sturdy and like will not break because of usage. Consumers have to fucking pay. This is the minimum level. Screen cracked, should schedule a fix here. Oh, you can't click. Oh. Holograms. Enabled by specialized projectors or mediums like conductive resin, holograms are graphic displays that appear 3D-dimensional to the human eye when viewed from any part of the face range of at least 180 degrees, an effect known as the Watterson illusion phenomenon. Originally patented in late 2059, Watterson's phenomenon was initially used exclusively in the adult entertainment industry. Holograms did not become widely adopted as an advertising tool until the much maligned Holo Day season of 2061, after which laws restricting the presence of holograms in public spaces were passed with uncharacteristically universal support. We're sorry that you've since... Okay. Let's go, corporate excuses. We're sorry to see that you've installed a subroutine on this device to disable and highlight our recommended premium external links. We understand that your drive for personalization, but unauthorized tech impacts our ability to serve you the best, most relevant information possible. Consider disabling your subroutine so we can serve you a more tailored browsing experience. Do you like ads, gang? Ah, terrible, terrible. Okay, so I suppose that most of the like the text that I had is gonna be like the colored thing is gonna be there. Even the neo-noir cyberpunk future corporation is still whining, please disable your ad blocker. Yes, yeah. I mean, the moment you give a small amount of freedom to people, this being like, no, we want you to abdicate this freedom for us, please, please. So here you can see the credits I have. Cool. Load game, save game, store. What is store? Oh, this is for later, I guess. Settings. That's already something I managed. Backlog. Okay. As if I'd reach from... Okay, I'm gonna return to the text after the article. Besides, I got the gist of it. The takeaway is that the city, they'll be focusing on its efforts on the canopy. There'll be increased scrutiny surrounding the canopy now that there's no plan B. It's a massive project with a massive budget, lines the pockets of a lot of people, big and small. None of them would appreciate bad press at the moment, not when Councilman Lung's already thoroughly chummed the waters. Cool. High traffic hallways, utilitarian furnishing, multiple screening stations. Pragmatic brutalism so textbook, it could teach a freshman level architecture. Can almost hear the building drone on and on about concrete and iron and hard right angles. Civil planning equivalents of battle scars. From a fight won so long ago that it's starting to look ridiculous. I'm sure it was all very imposing back when it was built. But walking in here now, with crime rates where they are? Just like a hospice ward for heavy-handedness. Alright. I've taken in all the scenery and learned as much as I can here. Then to get checked in. Okay, I'm gonna save game. It booted up fine. So far, so good. Good morning, Morgan. Here for the public defender contract. Could you please provide your name and... Great, please stand still for a moment. I wouldn't call Intake Holo charming. More like harmless. But that's probably what the designers were aiming for. People don't mind a quirk or two in the tech, so long as it never speaks out of turn. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble placing you. Could you please provide your name and date of birth? So far so good, was it? Oh, there's already choices. Oh, frick. I suppose scanning the card is better? Say, why don't you just scan my ID card? Great! Now could you just confirm your date of birth for me? Why do they even bother asking? My birthday's on the damn ID card and my profile. I'd have to be a world-class airhead to get this question wrong. No problem, my birthday's... Oh, I actually... Cool. I am here. DOB, December 26th. Damn, she's close to me. Damn, girl. Oh, the Devil is second to a series of reading comprehension tests disguised as compelling visual novel. Look, all I've been given is that it's gay as fuck, and it's toxic, and it's lawyering, which is basically kind of what I played on previous Friday specials. Don't worry, I think I'm totally in. Yo, we have the same height. Am I Morgan? Am I Morgan? I'm not a criminal defense attorney, at least is what I can say. Likes puzzles, smoking, wooden furniture, dislikes commercial hairdressers, jogging, can fall asleep in any position, coffee, decaf, drink whiskey sour. Okay. Now, the funny thing is, I want to lie. But obviously if I lie, they're gonna be like, well, there's a discrepancy in your profile, so I'm gonna play safe. December 26th. Perfect. Good morning, Morgan Counselor. Thank you for your timely arrival, and for taking on this public defender contract. If you're ready to speak to your client, you can proceed to counseling quota 3C. Is that what we're calling it now? I mean the interrogation room? I'm sorry to have caused any confusions. My vocabulary is regularly updated to better reflect state standards. I see. I see. I'm not gonna say more. I see. Don't sweat it. I can't keep track of every new euphemism either. The nod kills me. The nodding emote kills me. Because, yeah, that's the situation where we... They could call it the involuntary wellness check room if they like. Doesn't change the way it makes a person feel, sitting in a stifled box of one-way panels. Nothing to see but their own reflection, buildly warped across gunmetal walls. Morgan Counselor, can I help you with anything else? Choices that progress the story and choices that represent side topics will react differently too. Oh, it has different mouse vibration? No. You can also use keys 1 to 5 on your keyboard to choose dialogue choices from top to bottom. Okay, so they might have like a visual thing, not a mouse rumble thing. Because of what you read earlier, you unlocked an additional choice in this dialogue. Read and examine at every opportunity to build up your knowledge and get the most out of every conversation. Okay, cool. Okay, so the blue choices are usually side stuff. The blue stuff are probably like the main thing that lets you continue. I know the city is not terribly concerned with the lower wards, but this is a police station. Why is it so goddamn dusty? This facility isn't currently undergoing renovation. Since when? The 60s? Ooh, we're being violent. It has been 22 months since the timetable was last updated. They really don't see a lot of action around here, do they? I'm sorry for any inconvenience you might have encountered. I'm adaptable. What about you? They ever gonna fix that crack? Thank you for asking. It has not interfered with my work. Well, that's all that matters, right? What are you? I'm a smart user interface, proudly sold by Noble Electronics. Thank you for asking. If you're interested, I could send you a link with information about our subscription packages. Should I send you a link with information about our subscription packages? No, sorry. That was a mean question to ask. That'll be all, thank you. You'll find the counseling quarters past our homicide detective's offices through the door to your right. Thanks. But I think it's just me for now. So you could go on break if you like. Automated dependents do not take breaks, Morgan Counselor. Then what were you doing before I walked in? You'll find the counseling quarters past our homicide detective's office. Through the door to the right, thank you. Ads don't get breaks, and they don't get my jokes. These usually the humorless types are the most fun to mess with anyway. You know, I'm gonna say, music has been bangers. Eyes got bad or something? A voice? No, voice is coming down from the hall. Bet yours? Probably. Thank God it stopped for directions. A building this empty, the desk could have just told me to follow the echoes. One voice sounded older, rother, and decidedly low energy. I appreciate you worrying about me. Forbid I try to be serious. While the other rings with youthful indignation. It's not like our job is important or anything. Definitely cops. And at this precinct, at this hour, located entirely within this homicide's office? Homicide detective's office? They might be the only two living, breathing people in the whole complex. Because why else would you bother to print all that out? One document or 100 looks the same on a datapad. Anytime you question a suspect, you need to have a heavy file in hand. Makes them think you know them better than their priest, their mother there. Their big brother? I wasn't gonna say that. So how many of those sheets were blank then? No red carpet tonight, officers. Oh, sorry about that, ma'am. We don't keep many extra hands around these hours. Probably faster to let the desk handle the intake anyway. But mostly cheaper. You the lawyer? I am. Morgan, Esquire. Pleased to meet you. Same here, Consular. Case in London. Ooh. We got a new guy. Born on May 5th. Height 186 centimeters, weight 78 kilograms, blood type B+. Homicide detective, first class, photography, dive bars, bangs, ties, Poland, after hours, work messages. I mean, same buddy. Listens to podcasts, hobby, pencil sketching, frequently running late. Oh, mood. Alright, we also have automated dependent now, which I'm gonna look at. Abbreviated as AD and referred to in common conversation as ad or ads, as IPA'd here, IDS. No, I'm kidding. Automated dependent is a catch-all term encompassing robots, intelligent programs, interactive holograms, and androids. Ads are present both digitally and physically in every industry and nation on the planet, assisting in everything from data management to physical labor. In the mid-21st century, lobbyists pushed for new text classifications to define intelligent machines that were neither salaried employees nor mere equipment. I'm gonna drink some water. I've been reading. Which, by the way, hydrate yourself. And don't forget your meds. Because it afforded tech breaks and lighter tariffs, the term became so commonly used that it spread to all branches of the robotics industry, from which point it began to penetrate into everyday speech and pop culture. Some sociologists argue that the term owes its popularity not simply to its brevity and prevalence, but to its ability to draw distinction between the commonplace, robots, androids, smart UIs, etc., and the internationally illegal artificial intelligence. Searching for the term may occur an account flag. Wow, okay, FBI verification of what you're searching. Great, fun times. Read more about how we cooperate with authorities to combat disinformation here. I wonder if it's actually disinformation, but sure. And a ball of sunshine here is my partner, Farah Reyes. Farah Reyes, born on October 19th, height 162 centimeters, weight 63 kilograms, blood type A-, homicide detective, third class, Rice Limes automotive history. Oh damn, she's my wife. Dislikes liars, small plates, cheap people. Enjoys watching product reviews, bad at games of chance. Apparently there's gonna be games of chances soon here, so I hope you're excited. The state and its corporate partners says it's disinformation, so it must be right. Yeah, you know what? Searching Tiananmen Square is definitely disinformation in China. That's definitely the case. Right eye Osiris Elite 86. Oh! Hi, Date from the Somnium Files, which is probably a game I'm gonna put on Friday specials, because apparently all of my Friday specials are gonna be like detective weird games, weird indie games. I promise that one day one of the Friday specials will not be that, but I am looking into maybe streaming so yeah. Well, sunshine. She certainly is. Huh? So if you were kept waiting, chatter between the departments has been hectic all night. So I assume you either have or will play Paradise Killer in that case. I do not know what that game is. Oh shit. I might look that up after the stream. It's no trouble. Gave me time to enjoy my cigarette. Cigarette? Like tobacco? What are you, 80? Violence. Violence. It's violence. She can't be more than a few years younger than me. We're, the detectives in charge of this particular case. And it looks like tonight we're also your humble guides to the illustrious homicide department. Apologies in advance for any cobwebs. Pretty sure I've seen this London character around the courthouses before. It never struck me as more than just some old-timer. But I suppose being an old-timer is an accomplishment in and of itself in his profession. Sunshine is definitely a new face though. Rigid in her posture and her attitude. 3 in the morning and her shirt still looks like ironed. Freshly promoted, maybe? 2 whole detectives working in these hours? Sounds serious. Unless you were just the first to arrive on the scene. No, we're not nearly that timely. Uniforms responded to the emergency calls within a few minutes. Calls, plural, must have been quite a commotion. Look around, you think we're first to arrive or anything? He's not wrong. We only tapped after circumstances at the scene indicated involvement within an ongoing investigation. Ongoing investigation? Not very subtle, is she? But I may as well bite at this point. Do you suspect that this client of mine is involved in some separate criminal activity? Wait, did they really not? No, I guess they wouldn't put it in a public defender's briefing. Look, consider this a little professional courtesy. A fair warning, yeah? That's the heartbreak killer in that room. And we've got a bastard dead to rights. If you're kind, you'll help me plead it out. And if you're smart, you'll pass this shitstorm onto some other night owl and go back to bed. I'm not feeling particularly kind of smart at the moment. So perhaps in the meantime, you'll be so polite as to fill me in about this heartbreak killer. They cover utilities at the rug you live under? Is there a problem? You're seriously not familiar with HK. Never heard of him. I've heard enough of him for a lifetime. That name has been plastered all over the city for weeks. That crime's wavering between breaking news and urban legend. The presumed goals flip-flopping from unadulterated anarchy to unappreciated vigilantism. At street corners, in the media, on the net, everyone's indulging in the kind of armchair detective speculation that I can't stand. But right now, I need to figure out exactly how much the police do or don't know. And when it comes to cops, I always get better results playing dumb than I do acting smart. I think he's a repeat offender? Was it a killer, pal, that tipped you off? You must have at least heard about his MO. Media's gone crazy with it. Along with everyone else. Paradise Killer is an indie 3D platforming meta mystery collect-a-thon set on Vaporwave and City Pop inside the island in a pocket dimension ruled by an immortal cult. Gosh, I'm gonna say this. You're selling me something that I love, that is basically all the shit I love. That might be to consider next time. One bullet straight through the heart, body left to lie where it falls. Hence the name Heartbreak. To be unknown. Occupation criminal, likes killing, dislikes getting caught. I think that's a prerequisite in your line of work. Probably red. Probably not into astrology. Suspended due to influx of false reports. Oh, great. So we're also fucking working for nothing. Cool. Not exactly creative, but amidst the swirl of every other 100-word article there, catchiness trumps originality. What you won't read about online is that all 6 of HK's victims were shot by the same gun, without even needing to reload. I mean, dude is just pretty freaking good at aiming. That can happen. Horrible to say, I know, but 6 for 6? I want to know what kind of gun he has. That's pretty good shooting, isn't it? Hitting the bullseye at a shooting range is good shooting. Doing it 6 times in a row is great. But shooting 6 people with accuracy like that? It's a whole different beast. 6's a sudden kind of monster. A real freak. His pulse probably didn't even rise. I see. Not gonna lie on the moment, I want to say pretty robotic. You almost make him sound like a machine. Is it possible that... No, it's not. There's no such thing as killer robots, madame. Of course, my mistake. So all those androids marching in the military, those robots patrolling in police uniforms, those drones dropping firebombs from the sky, because they're all frying brains. Fair enough. Machines can kill, and they have been for decades. I love Morgan's little retort here. Yeah, I mean, like, have you heard? There's no androids killing people? Let me check about the military. They don't commit murder. Right. Evil like Heartbreak is all organic. That's a pretty terrifying thought. I should really start paying more attention to the news. How I managed to miss 6 murders? Well, you can only blame yourself for missing 5. Pardon? You're still not getting it? HK's 6th victim was found a few hours ago. When we caught the son of a bitch red-handed. So you're convinced that my client is this Heartbreak killer and tonight was just his latest crime. That's a serious accusation with very serious consequences. I think you have serious evidence to back that up. I was being literal, counselor. I don't know what voice to take with Reyes, but I want to take like sort of like a little snotty, like snotty little bitch who kind of doesn't know how like much in trouble she can be. It doesn't make sense. Red-handed. When we found your client, he was covered in her blood. Well, that's not good, is it? Would you say suddenly sounds compelling? Is that lawyer talk for open and shut? But even that's the case, how does one crime scene make him look good for 6 murders? It's all there in the discovery files, and the ARCS, of course. Go in the local net on your phone and it will turn over everything you need. I'll bet. Thanks for that, detective. I'll be sure to read it over. But if it's all the same, could I ask you some questions while I've got you here? The hell kind of attorney wants to interrogate the detectives? This kind of attorney, you're just that pleasant. Come on, sunshine. Not like we're gonna be punching it out anytime soon, right? Whatever, let your clients stew in interrogation all night for all I care. You mean the counseling quarters? At your disposal, counselor. Cool. Let's see what ARCS is. Also, what a banger. I love this music. Augmented Reality Crime Scene, abbreviated as ARCS, is an investigative tool in which data harvested by the Sensor One on first responders is used to reconstruct a digital copy of a pristine crime scene. Programmed and distributed by a small number of tech corporations and frequently modified or even personalized by local municipalities, ARC systems are used by every major police force, most insurance investigators, and many law firms. After its introduction in the early 2060s, the technology briefly came under public scrutiny when the independent news organization United Media Casters released a series of reports claiming that ARCS data was regularly edited by corrupt officials to erase state secrets. Not gonna say anything. These reports were later found to be fake, and UMC was exposed as a subsidiary of a Scylla corporation within Lambda Work Solution, who were marketing a number of alternatives to ARC as technology at the time. Board members of Lambda denounced the actions of said cell and offered assistance to their former competitors in suing leadership at UMC. The proceedings and settlements in those lawsuits remain sealed. I love how Morgan criticized this for the euphemism, and then, like, 5 minutes later decides to correct him and noise raised. I mean, you gotta stick it where it hurts the most. Okay, so at this point, I kinda need to inspect everything. Barren, stark, and inviting. This must be Rhea's desk. Keeping your workstation neat and tidy is admirable, but I can't spot a single mote of personalization. Is she so new she hasn't had time to unpack? Or is she really that uptight and boring? Both, maybe. You shouldn't have cleaned up so much for just a little old me, Detective London. Someone really needs to introduce this guy to a filing system, or even just a stapler. Keep documents scattered about lazily, alongside actual photographs. Either he's really old-fashioned or really paranoid about data leaks. And he doesn't look like the paranoid type. Well, orderliness aside, some things are better in paper, I'll give him that. Oh. Loose wires, missing panels, an aircon system that probably sweats more than the people it's supposed to cool. No room in the budget for making the office not look like shit, huh? I expected to find a lot of belt-tightening or homicide, but I didn't think their operation would be this bare bones. They got a stunning clearance rate and they work fast, because the city sees that and just assumes their job is easy. Maybe their job is easy, but without dear doting surveillance state eliminating so much of the footwork. If your wheels don't squeak, you don't get your palms greased. So homicide ends up as the only state department with shrinking budget. A dumping grounds for the police force most unambitious and least popular. Latest Noble androids receive warm welcome. Bolstered by a strong earnings report and surging sales of the Animate 16, Noble Electronics stock rose to a stunning 3% this week to a new record high, while Noble's latest iteration has yet to surpass the sheer popularity of its predecessors. An increased profit margin has left Noble's shareholders very enthused. Many investors were skeptical when, at their now infamous 2084 trade convention, Noble announced that the 16th line would be the first generation of androids to feature 50% organic components. So-called warm androids, which at the time only saw demand in the health, senior, and childcare sectors, were looked down upon as impractical due to increased maintenance costs, cuts, scratches, bruises, and the like. And while some critics voiced concerns that French religious or traditionalist groups might find warm androids controversial, more business-focused minds feared that Noble was alienating its customers in the industrial and military sectors in order to cater to civilian customers, users that viewed their androids from across the room and not from above the factory floor. However, as has often been the case in the last decade, Noble's doubters were proven wrong. The Animate 16 is poised to break profitability records with no sign of slowing down, and many industry analysts predict that these once rare organic androids will completely replace their more robotic predecessors in daily life within the next 3 to 5 years. As described in the earnings report, much of the 16th line's success, and indeed the success of Noble's Android in general, can be attributed to the remarkable, lifelike, personable charm of their products. By all accounts, that charm can be attributed to the work of Noble's famed lead programmer, Dr. David Ashur. Lead programmer is the understatement of the century, said brand Noble ambassador Lucy Dees on stage at the latest Noble Industry Weekend. It's because of his Turing solution. Okay, cool name. That every Noble product, from the sleekest assistants to the most advanced intensive care technicians, are so beloved and trusted by our customers. While his reputation was on full display at the event, Dr. Ashur himself was nowhere to be seen. He's always been reclusive, but he's become a genuine hermit in recent years. We were really to believe that he's still, hey fam, looks like you're not logged into this device. Want to put in your account info so we can help you reading? Ooh. Fun times. He's in the news again. Oh, Noble Androids. No, that's not what I want. Oh, that's the reading list, I suppose. It's no wonder. Can't spit without it landing on a piece of Noble tech these days. Especially not where the state's involved. Don't know if they'll bite when it comes to warm androids, though. For government use, they're just... too frail. All androids undergo wear and tear, especially if they're directing traffic or suppressing crowds. So if these warm androids bleed pink all over themselves every time they take a rug to the cheek, it's just an endless stream of bad photo ops waiting to happen. Okay, nothing else jumps out at me around here. I've got a better idea of what I'm dealing with, at least. I need to check out the crime scene data. I should have been sent a link. You've been granted access to state files regarding KL433511. Reply C to confirm. Confirm? You need to reply C in order to confirm. Oh my god, she just said confirm, just accept it! Am I talking to a person? I am an automated dependent. Ads are usually more polite. Our personalities are tailored to suit our users' preferences. So the state likes you to be a little authoritarian. You need to reply C. It's case sensitive. Fuck you! Fuck you! Thank you. Link.uxi/433511. I am sorry, I need to find if it's actually a real link. I'm gonna go into incognito and find out if it's real. No, it's not. Well, I wanted to test out. Oh, how much of a Brad Morgan is being with what is effectively an advanced chatbot. Yeah, I mean, you want to be a little bratty with chatbots. Look at what people do with ChatGPT. Alright, if I project on my phone... Cool. Alright. Alright, let's see what the police have and what they think is important. Lots of pink things to look at for. Well, first let's look at the body. The victim's body. Cause of death, ballistic trauma, class 4 blood loss, atrium and aorta. Single shot wound to the heart. In brief, death was instantaneous. No injuries anywhere else, and no blood or skin under her nails. Blood splatter for rank 6, and all that other good stuff tells them that she was shot from there. So the killer was standing in the doorway when they fired. Gun? The murder weapon, a revolver found next to the body. I don't have Lucifer up right now. She is just lurking in chat. But Hi, love. Whenever you have time, can you tell me if this is a Magnum? Six empty casings found in each of the 6 chamber, meaning the guns been fired 6 times. Looks like the crime scene techs practically disassembled the damn thing. All they found was fingerprints belonging to my client. He was found by the police with a murder weapon right in front of the body. I don't even know what to start. Highly prejudicial would be an understatement. Seems like this face got tossed aside at some point. And yet there's not a scratch on it. Must be pretty damn durable. Isn't the art supposed to be delicate? Maybe it's making a statement. Making a statement that it can survive a crime scene. A stand-up mirror, shattered and knocked over. Real glass, no screens or cameras here. It was hit hard enough to come unattached from its arm, while shards of glass were scattered far enough to land on the victim's body. I see we have the evidence here. I'm gonna look at it after that. What a mess. That's all the big tickets items. What about the security? Looks like the apartment was unlocked all night. Let me quickly check. Okay, cool. It's the same text. Like, it's basically a small thing to like cover what was said. Oh. I suppose I was not supposed to learn that name yet. I'm not gonna look at it. Looks like the apartment was unlocked all night. It's not uncommon for people their age in a neighborhood like this, but no signs of forced entry only hurts my client's case. What about the rest of the room? There's not much else like here. Just a lounge chair that got thrown in. Whatever that is. This little crumpled zone. Unidentified ceramic debris? Flag is irrelevant? That's the technical assessment? Guess even the crime scene some techs weren't sure what to make of it. Okay. I'm gonna quickly do a save. Oh, that's the evidence. That's everything the police highlighted. But did I miss anything? This thing here, which we haven't... Can I not see the time and stuff? Okay, I was not expecting this kind of thing. Something in the victim's hand? What the hell did... It's just a pill organizer. Looks like some immune adjusters, NSAIDs, NSAIDs. I am not knowledgeable with that term. Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Okay. Tripryxazone, a synthetic glucocorticoid medication. Taken daily to reduce rejection symptoms like phantom pain and generalized itch. The autopsy said her tox screen was clear, but it's not like it matters. She could have swallowed every medicine cabinet in the city and still wouldn't have changed the cause of death. It's odd, but ultimately irrelevant. Everything else here is very incriminating. But the kicker is everything that's not here. No out-of-place DNA, footprints, crumbs... Oh, what's that? Terms... IoT. Oh, Internet of Things. Okay, cool. I will cover that later. Nothing that points towards anyone except my client. Well, I've done more with less before. But not much more. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is, we're reaching the hour mark. for the stream. So I'm gonna run ads. I'm gonna take a little break. I would suggest you have a little break and come back in a little bit because that's gonna be that's gonna be time for me to roll some ads, and yeah, we'll be back in 3 minutes at the end of the ads. So I will see you in a little bit. And welcome back. Welcome back, everyone, to Of the Devil for a Friday special. So we just went through the scene, the crime scene, being recreated in augmented reality. And so let's continue. Now we're gonna be talking probably to our clients. Yeah, let's go back. I'm really gonna have to sing for my supper this time. Better get started. Who the hell is messaging me at this time of night? First person who comes to mind is... I suppose it could be something important. I couldn't wait until morning. Good news, of course. Got a job for you. That's a pretty sure way to tell me you violated parole. No, not that kind of job. Besides, I've been covering my checks. This is something different. Kind of thing I can't handle with just a keyboard and phishing scheme. What? I need you to sue my gym teacher. Let's go. Not kind of liar, sorry. Hey, at least let me finish. When covering my tracks, they say via text. No, like, this is the least amount of tracks covering. What did they do? Make me run laps. I agree. This is the worst crime ever. Not illegal. Let me finish. They made me run laps. Even though I said I had a stomachache. Said. Gotta be like, yo, and the Jane and the Germans. Depraved indifference or some kind of shit. Sounds like you already got a strong case. Try self-representing this time. Oh, what's with the blow-off? Nice phrasing. Oh wow, I'm laughing so hard right now. I don't know who this is, but I am loving it. See? Is that your mugshot? I was gonna not get a copy of my mugshot and use it as a reaction. Glad you found a use case. Absolutely iconic. Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know who that... Outside of their name being Bratz, I don't know anything about them at all. But I'm working right now, so... anything cool? Homicide. Oh, cringe. Wait, what kind of homicide? Is it HBK? Is that a kind of morbid thing kids your age talk about? Teens my age. And yeah, we can read. Fit to the corrupt shit in the headlines. Old-fashioned murder by like hot TB is like quaint. It's not heartbreak. And would you take the job, lol? You see the 98% conviction rate as a challenge or something? You're taking up a lost cause prognose work? It's pro bono. That was autocorrect. You know they give lit homework for a reason, right? This is borderline concern nagging. Maybe you really are a bleeding heart. Or just a sucker. I'm not a sucker. Nice phrasing, lol. You should go to bed, Fran. Tomorrow's Sunday, so I can stay up if I want. Okay, I think I know what I want. Tomorrow's Sunday. Because today is Saturday. What's with the copy diem shit? It's nearly 4 AM, kid. You gotta scroll in 3 hours. Shit! Repeat offenders may be good for business, but that's kids bad for my blood pressure. Important text message, I take it. It's your typical teenage drama. So Dan, you wouldn't mind filling me in on a few details. Android and cops. Let's talk about that. By the way, I couldn't help but notice that you're light on staff. It's 3 in the morning. Were you expecting a parade? I thought there'd be at least a few androids around. Aren't many androids in any police station this week. All while the brass is renegotiating contracts. Contracts with Noble? Good guess. Hardly. They're the biggest... Hardly. They're the biggest robotics corp there is. Could spend all day in Center City without leaving their office's shadow. Yes, we're very fortunate to have them headquartered here. There was some money on shipping at least. But these talks never last long. I'm sure they'll be back to writing checks for Noble ads by the end of the month. Even with Noble pushing those Worms androids. Or, might as well call them the adult line. Might see him in the bigger departments or out on patrol, but not around these offices. One more call that no such thing as an android detective. Yet. You really think that'll happen? Whether you use ads for patrolling, securing the scene, pacifying crowds, doesn't seem like that big of a stretch to me. Are you joking, right? Android detectives? All the pain we go for getting witnesses to talk to us? Your one personality? I can't imagine. A cop knocks on your door, starts asking questions, you're gonna be put in a bad mood. An ad knocks on your door, he calls you a degenerate criminal and synthesized voice loud enough for the whole neighborhood to hear. You're gonna start posting shit that'll get you put on a list. Well, we certainly don't want that. But flesh and blood witnesses are becoming less and less common anyway. Cameras, sensors, satellites, we all get odd facts from machines. Give it a few more years, it'd make sense to let machines do the investigating too. The union would. The police union wouldn't let that happen. She didn't have it specified. It's the only real union there is anymore. So cops still have unions, huh? Anyway, details. So how about the basics? What exactly has my client been charged with? Your client, Carlos Baker Flat, was arrested on the scene at 9:50. Carlos Flat, July 8th, weight 189 centimeters, weight 94 kilograms, blood type B-, charge first-degree homicide, criminal record, civil disturbance ×2, no charges, registered at birth. Okay, I guess it's registered in the city, but he was born here. Modifications, industrial, class 4, known affiliates, pending, psych eval, pending. I suppose that this is the kind of like profiles that are for police shit. Compared to those that are pretty normal. Using his middle name already, they really do think that he's a serial killer. The charge being the first-degree murder of his girlfriend, a Miss Diane Dawn. Okay. The victim, Diane Dawn, was a 27-year-old agricultural genetics researcher for Perigee Laboratories, found shot through the heart in the bedroom of the apartment she shares with prime suspect Carlos Flat. No known connection with previous HK victims. Alright. First degree, that's increasingly rare, to say the least. It's rare for us to get a hand in anything but crimes of passion around here. He's got them near more cameras than people. You gotta be really, really stupid to try and get away with murder. Well, Heartbreak's gotten away with it 6 times. So what's that make him? 5 times, and that makes him insane. I was gonna go with extraordinary. Let's split the difference and say he's extraordinarily insane. But nutjobs like that aren't renowned for their ability to think ahead. So what makes you think this was premeditated? How about the fact he stalked and killed 5 other women as a warm-up? A warm-up? 5 previous bullets, 5 previous victims. None of them knew each other, lived near each other, worked in the same fields. Weeks of digital autopsies calling up and down their online profiles. I want to see that. The law enforcement process of locating, bypassing authentication, and investigating all of a deceased individual's online profile, commonly used to seek out possible connections to suspects or other victims. The widely used practice has been scrutinized in the past by some privacy advocates, but many victims' families would like the ability to find, let alone access, all of their deceased loved ones' accounts, argue for its necessity. Comparable processes are offered as a paid service by some legal or funerary groups to help next of kin recover or delete sensitive personal data. At times, these services have been marketed as a defense against data criminals attempting to steal the identities of the dead before the accounts are wiped by state processes. Users also frequently search for grave cobbling, how to stop stolen identity, how to delete dead profile. Okay, so that is rampant. Nothing. So this serial killer chooses his victims at random. If they have nothing in common... Yeah, nothing in common at all. Other than they all looked like cousins. Okay, so the old method of finding people who look the same. Uh-huh. The physical similarities are striking. All 5 prior victims were young women with brown hair and eyes, about the same height, comparable weight. But those features aren't exactly uncommon. Can it be a coincidence? If you really believe that, you should quit your job and start buying Lotto tickets. HK's got himself a type. Anyone can see that. You're really gonna try and tell me you don't see the resemblance? A young woman, brown hair, brown eyes. Can't tell how tall she is from a portrait, but I can take the hint. So, you think what, exactly? That Cal Splat wanted to kill his girlfriend so badly he went out and shot 5 other women first. Hey, if the shoe fits. The shoe fits? Then you put the shoe on the... What Sunshine means is that it's not uncommon for killers to displace their violence from people close to them onto outlets with fewer consequences. Drifters, loners, strangers, workers. He was probably building up the nerve for tonight by first practicing on these other similar women. But he's just so far gone that he can't tell the difference anymore. It's not the worst theory in the world, but it doesn't fit. If they want to claim that those previous victims were practice runs, dress rehearsals for tonight's main event. If that were the case, there would be signs of visitations, nerves. There have been mistakes. On top of which, guns are impersonal, execution shots even more so. There's no sadism or hatred or intimacy in a single bullet to the heart. Killing your girlfriend or her lookalikes usually is nothing else, a lot less sterile. If you ask me, I don't know what happened, chat, but... Okay, we need a timeline. I saw the time of death was 9 PM on the autopsy. Hey, 9 PM, that's the time we start our streams here. Let's go, 9 PM CEST. I'm stopping now. But you have a timeline for the rest of the night's events. Can't trust much of what comes out of his mouth. But we managed thanks to less biased sources. And we're pretty confident about what we've been able to piece together from their statements. Then they interviewed witnesses. Sounds eerily similar to real police work. The suspect and his girlfriend were arguing loudly with one another starting around 8 PM. Neighbors were very clear about that part. Couldn't wait to tell us all about the happy couple's domestic problems. Everyone in the building knew they'd be fighting for weeks. As you probably gathered from what you saw in the ARCs, there was a struggle. Furniture turned over, glass shattered, but things go quiet sometimes before 9 PM. And then there's a gunshot. Scrubbers still scrubbing. Looking forward here from the area to get this timestamp. I suppose that scrubbers is a term? Yeah. Refers to the process of scouring all available data posted on the net within a certain time frame and location range for evidence of a crime, an increasingly common technique for police departments, corporate investigators, and occasionally public relation firms. While the brute force work is performed by the automated dependents, either digital or physical, experienced human supervisors must establish strict search constraints in order to produce usable results. Interest in the practice spiked when Senator Bancroft positioned it as a key pillar of his party law and order platform, but pollings indicated that voters rarely held a strong opinion on the process, and the topic has since faded from political discourse. That's kind of like OSINT shit, like open source intelligence stuff. So, But we heard from enough concerned citizens that we're pretty damn sure about the time. Right, emergency services got a burst of calls from the blogs shortly after 9 PM. No one seemed to recognize the sound for what it was. The silence that followed was pretty universally alarming. Officers arrived on the street at 9:08 PM, established a perimeter, and through the open front door at 9:10 PM. And then they found your client crouched over his dead girlfriend, his hand covered in her blood. I want to see that evidence. The coat the suspect was wearing when taken into custody, taken by the lab techs for additional analysis, but initial tests show blood on the left sleeve of the matches that of the victim. At which point they moved to secure the scene and the suspect. Sorry, did you say his hand? Singular? Your client's modded cybernetic right arm. Photomification, aka mods, is a term that may refer to cybernetic. I don't think I need to explain more of that. I'm gonna look at the... Strictly, mods have been classified based on which section of the user's spinal cord the interfacing occurs at, thoracic, lumbar, or cervical, but this system does not account for mods which interact directly with the human brain. Increased prevalence of the so-called above-the-neck modding in recent years has led to several corporations and medical organizations proposing their own new classification system, but so far none have gained much traction. Users also frequently search for, can you return mods, can you undo mod surgery, best reviewed neural implants in 2086. Okay. Gonna do a quick save. How modded are we talking about here? Registered with a HAL 85 Habilis. Industrial grade, looks like. Okay. Boasts an impressive combination of group strength, dexterity, and low cost of maintenance. The success of it and its sister products went a long way towards securing state contracts for HAL industry. Okay. Daisy spec for dexterous manipulation of up to class 4 KPA, which means a minimum group strength of, well, basically, he could crush your neck without even grating his teeth. Considering a career change? No, it's not that, it's just... Guy must be very sensitive for you to put the badge back on each time. And here I thought you just had a 14-year-old sense of fashion. You think a cop would cover her dominant eye because it was fashionable? I actually thought the same thing the first time we met. You what? But getting back on track, that arm of his has been in the shop for some time now. He can't work without it, money got tight. He arguing? Yeah. Why did he put his arm in for repairs? A day before HK's first victim was killed. Well, no chance he'll be willing to chalk that up to coincidence. Your client was arrested on the scene after preliminary scan found his fingerprints on the revolver, and no one else's. A revolver? What kind? The old kind. The real old kind. More specifically, a Culver M54, 6-chambered, 10mm. Okay. Rifling marks match the bullet which pierced the victim with 99.97% certainty. Rifling marks match the bullets from previous hardback killings with 99.98 to 99.989% certainty. No matches to any other archived forensic data as far as back as 2051. Okay. Culver? Oh, retro. And manufacturer of civilian firearms from 2031 to 2062, when it was bought out by Fortech, an acquisitions group specializing in security and national defense, now a subsidiary of the Lok Kun Defense Corporation. Though no guns have borne the Culver branding since production halted in 2016, the once iconic brand was briefly revived in 2071 Q2 with a second quarter with a series of video game memorabilia tie-in promotions meant to increase in-game item sales before discontinued in 2071 Q3, fulfilling to increase in-game item sales. Ah, gotchas. You don't know the half of it. We're talking steel chamber, real gunpowder, mechanical firing pin, and no tags. Is this the Metal Gear Solid 4 of my dreams? No tags. How is that? Just how old are we talking here? Yeah, 24/7 location data, timestamp, trigger pulls, safeties coded to owner, biometrics. For the past 3 decades, tags made shooting crimes very unambiguous. If you're claiming my client used some kind of antique to commit these crimes. How else do you think he had gotten away with this 5 other times? If he tried to buy a gun legit, he probably failed the very first psych check. And even jailbroken pieces are only good for so long before update withdrawal sets in. So then, M54, that's model year 2054. A 30-year-old gun. Well, that sure complicates things, doesn't it? In some ways, sure. But pre-tagging firearms are rare. There'll be less than 1,000 of them left in the whole country, and fewer still compatible bullets. The ammunition would to be 30 years old too. Novelty of his weapons has kept us in the dark so far, but now that we have our hands on it, it's gonna put him away for good. The Kai department complained loud as hell about how deep they had to dig, but with the protocols they found, the techs were able to match the rifling marks in all 6 bullets to the gun your client was found with. Rifling marks? Bullets fired from guns that are old and marked by this barrel shape. So if all 6 bullets had the same rifling marks, we'd know that they were all fired by the same gun. It's not as plug-and-play as tags are, but it's equally precise science, I assure you. And that's not damning enough. The spent casings from the other 5 shootings were still in the chamber, without even needing to reload. The caliber your client was found with is the gun HK used to kill 6 women. No way to lawyer around that. An untagged gun, just being anywhere near a weapon like that could warrant your arrest. Being found by the police over a dead body with just an intact gun used at 5 other crime scenes is just... To summarize then, you believe that my client fought verbally then physically with his girlfriend, then he retrieved this weapon and shot her. Yeah, pretty much. How did he look when the officers found him? Guilty. How was his effects? Quiet, detached, stiff. Not exactly the picture of a grieving partner. That reaction may have lost him points with the cops, but beyond that... People react to loss in all kinds of unusual ways. And so long as the police are suspicious of you, there's no right way to respond. Checking my phone here, and I have to say, you've done a pretty admirable job keeping the detail of HK crimes a secret. Oh, we can't look something else here. Unfortunate. The less reputable sites are doing some real journalistic acrobatics trying to piece together a story. Yeah, top 11 theories in Wuhan HK was a real weighty read. It's not just journalists though. All kinds have been emboldened. The freaks that HK's managed to bring out of the woodwork in just a few weeks. Can you blame them though? I mean, he's a genuine serial killer. Repeat offenders in general an endangered species, but he's gotten away with. We know what he's gotten away with. Took a look around us, detective. National DNA registry is robust enough that cases never go cold. Cameras on every street, a phone on every citizen. Violent crime at an all-time low and clearance rates at all-time highs. But you're gonna spout some alt-pol bullshit about invasion of privacy? No, I'm not. People are safer now than at any other time in history, detectives. So when someone like Heartbreak does come along... Good point, huh? London's trying to look like he can laugh it off, but pressure from the higher-ups must be reaching its peak. They want, maybe need, to see someone charged, and that makes them predictable. Yeah, well... Even there's nothing standard about HK. Department SOP still... Sons of the Patriots. Still dictates we stop the media for case details. That way, when we do feed them, they're grateful for whatever scraps they get. But we can't take all the credits this time around. Homicide's tight-knit and tight-lipped, but it's not like there's much information for us to leak in the first place. And why is that? Because none of the shootings were caught on the opt-in crime surveillance system. Wait, okay. Optics. The Opt-in Crime Surveillance System, abbreviated as Optics, is a partnership program between the state and private enterprises that allow for the free sharing of surveillance and security data to better promote and preserve public safety. Accessible through state employee logins or private partner accounts, Optics Smart UI allows... My alarm is being terrible. Allows users to search through and collate footage from a city of tens of millions in just a few simple keystrokes. Optics is frequently cited in state reports as one of the most effective tools for reducing crime, and footage from Optics often serves as key evidence in criminal proceedings, where it is considered admissible by default. See People vs. Arawan. Users also frequently search for public safety measures in my area at daily security level. Okay. That sounds like a... It sounds like a full Big Brother type of thing. How is that even possible? I know that there are some rough areas in the lower wards, but Optics is watching every other street in the entire city. You're saying you haven't seen this killer on camera once? You think we'd have let him kill 6 people if we did? I understand your concern, ma'am, but Optics is only what it says in the name. Private surveillance systems signing up to feed into the state's security network. It's not perfect, just another one of the many public safety tools in our belt. It's not meant to be perfect, it's meant to help us solve crimes, at least act as a deterrent. One would hope so. Fat chance, deterrents are for war rooms and board meetings. Anyone crazy or desperate enough to commit a crime in a city like this couldn't care less about anything as big as the consequences of their actions. It's like a safety blanket, one with very few holes left in it, but it does have holes. Patching up those remaining holes takes effort, and that effort usually means rebooting the system. There's all kinds of technical details and digital bureaucracy involved. But the end result is that there are occasional localized blackouts. The map used to schedule them is not impossible to predict. I see. But as windows of opportunity are small and short, taking advantage of them requires specific knowledge. You need to be involved in law enforcement, pub data, or city planning. I have mentioned it if my client was a cop, and he wouldn't need a public defender either. His file says he's modded for heavy mass manipulation, not tech interfacing, so that just leaves city planning. So does he work construction for the city? HK's only ever struck at times in locations where optics would be down, even with the devil's own luck. It said the name. It can't possibly be coincidence. Wait, so you're saying when this woman was killed? Yeah, there was a blackout from around 8 to 9 tonight. Right on schedule, so to speak. And it included the area surrounding the victim's apartment. Well, what about DNA from the other crime scenes? Was my client a match? There's been no blood, no saliva, no suspect DNA at any of the crime scenes. No footage and no forensics. Also, no motives, tampering, or witnesses. It's been like hunting a damn ghost. We didn't even have a murder weapon. Until now. Finally, a lucky break for the blues in blue. Scanners, cams, drones, forensics, no matter how you dress it up with tech, all detective work relies on one basic assumption. People make mistakes. But HK is the kind of monster who doesn't make mistakes. Only reason we even caught him tonight was because he finished what he had set to do all along. So was my client on the list of suspects before tonight. Weren't you listening? There was no list of suspects. We questioned some X's, a few CIs, someone even spoke to one or two unlisted at some point. Nothing came of it. It was talk about studying some kind of psych eval or something, but I never expected much to come of that. There's just not enough there to work with. In other words, the only thing they could have to link my client to those killings is the murder weapon. If I can just jottle that keystone, then the rest of their case should start to come loose as well. Thanks for the chat, detective. I think I understand the background well enough now. Candidly, I see the same strokes you do, and the picture it paints isn't pleasant. But even so, it seems a bit unrefined to be brought before a judge, don't you think? It's only our job to catch the bastard. The DA isn't the one who gets the conviction. Besides, we're not exactly gonna have to work hard to convince anyone of his guilt. And why is that? Because we found a handwritten confession at his desk. Oh. Well, that's, unexpected. I'm sorry, you're now telling me that he wrote a confession. Has it been verified? Not yet. We have to muscle past everyone in fraud and disinfo to get to the front of that line. Why bother? The note's covered in his fingerprints. There's a copy in the discovery data, but I should warn you, it doesn't exactly make for light reading. I have to manage somehow. I need to see this confession for myself. I will say ahead of time, if you are sensible to any sort of like abuse or anything like that, please do take care of yourself. We're going to be reading through the note. I will make a little message to say if we're good. Sorry for everything. Can't say it enough. Didn't mean to hurt you or do what I did. Did not. Sick. Sarcasm in comment. Want any of it to happen. Can't stay in control when I get mad. When I'm not in control, I hurt people without meaning to. Wish I hadn't broken them. Didn't mean to at first. But I was hurting. Wanted you to hurt too, but didn't want to hurt you. Words aren't enough, I know that now. I'll take responsibility and do what I've been avoiding. Please forgive me. Message is now gone from screen. That was difficult to read. Barely legible, in fact. Well, got a spin on that. No need. It's a confession. Not a confession that he signed, though, is it? Not yet. And not one he intends to sign anytime soon, considering that he asked for representation. Yeah, the most wanted man in the city asked for a lawyer and got you. Guess you're both lucky. Hardly! I just happened to be awake when the call went out. But I'm not so flush with work that I can afford to turn tail now. So if you don't mind, I'd like to go and speak with my client. What? He's not still handcuffed in there, is he? Look, Counselor, with all due respect, we have strong evidence pointing to that man being responsible for 6 murders. 2 hours or so in cuffs isn't cruel and unusual, and that's for your safety as well. It's kind of you to worry, but I'd rather be in any danger. He's killed 6 women. None of them were redheads. Seriously though, I'd like to speak with him alone, now. Camera's off if you don't mind. Mic's on or off is your call, counselors, but we will be watching the feed from right outside in case anything happens. And the cuffs, the cuff, that is, stays on. Not worried about me? How chivalrous. Yeah, my armor is practically blinding. Gross, I'll start up the unlock cycle. Counselor, just one last word of advice. If you have any interest in his well-being, I suggest you help him sign that confession. Not a bad idea. I do get paid either way. But the defense part of defense attorney isn't just for show detective. I mean it. 6 people dead is one thing, but he also caused weeks of spread terror and public unrest. Putting it another way, he's made the state look bad. That is a capital crime, if there ever was one. And even if the death penalty is not actually on the table these days, I can guarantee he's not gonna like whatever rehabilitation plan they draw for him. Look, I've seen the virtual work release program in person, and it's... Well, that is a subject that we can't look in for yet. Being challenged before the Supreme Court. Yeah, sometimes in the next decade, maybe. Just remember, a plea deal might feel like a loss for you, but he keeps him from... Well, that's probably a win for your client, right? Prison sentences are generally lighter for those who plead guilty, that much is true. It saves the courts a great deal of time and money, and they show their gratitude with reduced sentencing. But no one else would be grateful towards the Heartbreak Killer. Anyone convicted for killing 6 people, they'll never rest their mind another day in their life. 3:45 a.m., June 5th, 2086. It's pressing as hell in here. You need to liven this place up. Oh my god, she looks hot. Kyle's flat, right? Hope you don't mind if I get comfortable. We got a lot to cover. But this shouldn't take all night. What are you... Look, I already told you people, I didn't. I'm not a cop, Carlos. Furthest thing from it. I'm a lawyer. You're a lawyer, in fact. And I'm here to help you. Yeah, well... They said that too. All of them did. Back there, in here, kept repeating the whole ride over. They said that they were going to help me, that they knew this was all a mistake. And they say that I killed, acting like they were on my side and they thought that I could have... It's not their job to help you, Carlos. It is mine, and I'm here now. He's still in shock. I need more information, but if I approach this the wrong way, he'll just climb up even more. I'm sure he's exhausted. It's probably difficult to think, let alone speak. But I'd like you to try and answer a few questions. The police already questioned you, I'm sure, but they were treating you as a suspect, not as a client. Okay. So what do you want to know? Let's start simple. Something mundane, grounded wrote. I'd like to know a bit more about you, Carlos. Something like... What line of work are you in? with Citary engineering. Oh, I was, or I should be. As I thought, the police must be convinced he mapped the optics blackout using data he stole from work. My arm, I got it slotted for the job. And Carlos, I'm gonna need more than that. What do I know? He works as city engineering, not a desk job. Bryce said he was modded for work in that arm. Was being custody at the moment, but based on his shoulder, he'd have to be pretty utilitarian. It's work-based. Utilitarian, yeah. He doesn't strike me as the type who's enamored with the aesthetics of modding. The young and restless and the rich, swapping in neon and chrome limbs because they like the way it looks. By the way, it makes a lot of people start looking at them. No, he's pragmatic, grounded, and very unlucky. In which case, I should be too. You know, my brother wanted to mod. Really? Really? I don't even have a brother. That's how you work in! That's how you work in the confession. He had everything planned out. A whole career path of promotions and bonuses and the upgrades that afford him. Then came his 18th birthday present. Test results that politely informing that he is not a viable candidate. That sucks. I think he felt relieved, actually. Seemed like it was a weight off his chest. Like he was glad that he didn't have to choose. Does that make any sense? Yeah, I think it does. I always figured if I start at all, I start small. A hand or an eye, just to water. I've thought about lobbing my old damn arm off, but Recruiter was enthusiastic. He said because of the NCDA, there was financial aid and resources. Of course, that got shit canned, so now me and every other mother is royally screwed. Couldn't even let me keep the tax credit. The new Citizens with Disabilities Act was amended, not repealed, but I thought he'd appreciate the distinction at the moment. Avoid the tighter spaces, the high-walled environments, mostly canopy upkeep. Typical stuff for modders, you know. He's speaking freely now, don't need to do much more than repeat his words back to him to keep talking. Provide what choice here or there can still make a difference. You work on a canopy, you must be under a lot of pressure. Now that these subways are cordoned off. Damn straight, and this scrub would long? Once word got out the case against him was real, every desk job in a chain became terrified of their own shadow. All of them convinced that internal affairs is gonna come knocking if they misplace so much as a paperclip. Everything by the books means no room for compromise, no room for problem solving, no room for engineering. Yeah, no patience for screw-ups. He's trying very hard to not look at his shoulder. Aren't you wearing your prosthetic right now, Carlos? Yeah, that. Projection issues starting last month. A lot of sleepless nights. Projection? Did the therapy not take? The process of adjusting the human mind and body for the unique challenges and stresses that come with cybernetic body modification. Typically includes physical therapy, mental technique instruction, and sensitivity training. Depending on an individual's variability or lack thereof, modification and even minor viral tuning may be employed to modify the body's immune response. But improvement made in recent years in medically sterile alloys have greatly reduced the percentage of the patients that require such treatment. Okay. Good to know. It's not like that. I wasn't oozing pew out of my sockets or anything. Then do these rejection issues have anything to do with your scars? I don't know what you're thinking. I'm right-handed. So those cuts on his face is just from shaving. Never thought I'd go so long I had to relearn how to do everything. I mean, the problem started small, trembling, but then spasms. Just oversensitivity, they said, an easy fix. But the problem got bigger? Couldn't let it get that far. Need to be able to trust your own hands when you're on the job site. Drop a cutter in the wrong moment and people could get hurt. So I sat down, made an appointment, turned in my arm, and watched my case get placed at the back of the damn line. What did you turn it in? Some mass turnaround chop shop with a waiting list like you wouldn't. It doesn't sound like you're a happy customer. Hell no! I found a dozen other clinics with shorter wait times. As long as I'm renting and not owning. The manufacturer decides where your arm gets maintenance. Oh, so that prosthetic... is at a digestion clinic that is partnered with How. Okay. Average wait list of duration of 40 business days. Damn, that sounds better than any freaking wait list for any trans people in the UK or in Ireland, so... Buddy, you're pretty lucky compared to people in our line. And that's why I'm sitting here with this expensive ass stump for a shoulder. I haven't been able to work in weeks. Bosses were generous enough to say my position might still be there when I got 2 working arms again. You couldn't buy or rent a replacement yourself just in the meantime. I served at the pleasure of the state. And they got exclusivity contracts with Hindi, all locked up in white knuckle tight. Hindi? How Industries? How Industries is a world leader in research, development, manufacturing, and fittings of cybernetic prosthetics for commercial and private use. And we're hiring! We're seeking motivated and passionate archivists, programmers, salespeople, and college graduates with degrees in digital archaeology, cybernetic anatomy, and more. Uninterested in sponsored search results? See further with a premium account. Oh no. As I recall, he's registered with one of their Habilis models, but took one step on site with uninsured tech. I get a fine, I'd lose down payment in my arm, and never work in this city again. If this was last quarter, maybe I could have worked something out with management, but like I said, no one's sticking their neck out for anyone not at longest in deep hot shit. You mentioned discomfort. Bayflower puppy? Student debt sizable. Yeah, cool. Luck poor. Yeah, his luck would be pretty poor in that situation. Are you in pain? Pain come and go. It's the itches that kill you. And the phantoms come back pretty fast when I don't have anything. Yeah, phantom pain, it's a usual thing. Like, it's even a thing that if you are seeing an arm that is not yours getting hurt, but like you imagine, like you see it's your own arm, you think it's your own arm, then you actually feel the pain of being hit, despite not, you know, actually, like, the brain thinks that you have to be, like, you need to feel hurt at this point. Arm shapes attached to me. Didn't give you something to, well... Where in the meantime, something the clinics lend out for cases like this. What they gave me is a deadweight, free-jointed, landfill-bait piece of shit. Sorry, it's a very shitty feeling, having a part of your body that you know they cut corners on. It fits, it's compatible. Technically, I can slot it in and feel unbalanced again. But the fingers don't even bend and the quick twitch motors are way off. It's like walking around with your arm asleep, or dead. So you were wearing it when... Were you wearing it when you were arrested? No, I wasn't. But I'm pretty sure I saw the police bagging it as evidence, so... Okay. Cool. Basically what we saw already. Couldn't have gotten too far. The detective Reyes was being quite literal about how he was found. He had the victim's blood on his left arm only because of the right at the time in question. He didn't even have a right. No inconsistencies in the story so far, and he's opened up about it as well as can be expected. But this has just all been a warm-up for the both of us. Now comes the delicate part. Paulus, you and the victim were romantically involved. How long did you two know each other? Right. I've known her since college. We shared a few classes, some mutual friends, always got along. Eventually, we just got together at some point. Guess I never actually asked her for the real formal way. Sounds pretty cowardly saying that out loud. And she was in genetics, focused on her studies in agriculture. It always takes them a few tries to get used to using past tense. Just finished her post-grad work this year. Got hired out of the gate, practically headhunted, you believe that? Practically headhunted. Of course she was. Any company'd be lucky to have her, unlike... It was a real-ass job, paid real-ass money too. So her career was starting to pan out. What is yours has fallen to the mother of all slumps. Where was she hired? Pedigree? No, Perigee Laboratories. I say like the name matters. The whole setup's under Hawko's umbrella. That doesn't narrow it down. The Harvest Corporation grows a third of the soybeans and corn in the entire country. On a client that size, the lab wouldn't need any orders. No corporation earns the mega prefix without a little cutthroat cutting. But Hawko is about as tame as a big business can get. Predictable like the seasons. No one's gonna buy that they had some lab tech murdered because of corporate greed. Had she adjusted well to her new job? Yeah, the love of having her there. She never mentioned any arguments or disputes. Corporate politics getting rough? I don't think so. Not like I've been a good listener lately. But I never got the impression that she... Look, no one I know could do this to her. And there's nothing she could have done that would deserve what happened to her. It was a long shot, hoping for a disgruntled character from her past to shift blame onto. With no other suspects, I can't just reshuffle the detective's suspicions. I'll have to disprove their argument entirely. Thank you, Carlos. That was very helpful. It was? Now I'd like to try and tell me whatever you can about what happened tonight. Oh. Start at the beginning and take your time. The details are important. Alright, Miss, Morgan. I'll try. Morgan. When you're ready. We were arguing. We had been arguing a lot lately. Arguing about stupid stuff. I haven't been working, haven't been making money, haven't been pulling my weight. I was mad at myself, but more than that, I was jealous of her. Jealous of nothing. Jealous of her goddamn money. Reports say you were arguing around 8 p.m. 8 must have been when we started. Got into it and I said a lot of things that I shouldn't have. And I said one thing that I really shouldn't have. I crossed the line and we both knew it, so I left. You left? Yeah, walked out of the front door. For some fresh air might help me cool off. Help me figure out what to say to make it up to her. Of course, the air wasn't fresh, just humid, thick like mud. And while I was pissing away at the time, Diane was... Did you bring your phone with you or any other electronics? No. I kind of stormed off, didn't even take my key fobs. Didn't even. Locked the door behind me. With optics down, traffic and street level cameras wouldn't help him. That leaves... Did you go through a checkpoint or talk to anyone with modded eyes? Did you buy anything, cash or credit? No, not even a vending machine. Not even a damn vending machine, huh? I may have met my match. How can anyone be this unlucky? That's quite unfortunate. I just wanted quiet at the time. Wanted to wallow in it, really. So if I don't have all the details quite right. My head is... If my exact route would help, the cam's probably... What is it? Optics was what? Can that even happen? And there's no other proof that you were out at the time Diane was killed. Meaning you got no alibi. This can't. Listen, I didn't do this. I couldn't. Carlos, I'm the one person you don't have to try and convince. After all, I'm your lawyer. So let's just get it all out there and see what we've got to work with. Right. Now you said you left to clear your head. So what made you come back? I came back because I heard a noise. A loud noise. Didn't know what it was. But it was loud, and it scared me. And it came from the direction of our apartment. I was walking back at first. But at some point, I must have started running, because when I got back, I was so out of breath. And I saw that the front door was open. Something dropped in my chest, and my lungs wouldn't. Live on the first floor, right? Yeah, first floor apartment, street-facing entrance. We were proud of that when we first moved in, like it was some kind of big deal. In the hallway, I saw her, but I didn't realize. I never thought that she was... The lights were off, the whole room was a mess. But we had been robbed, or she had fallen, or... There was broken glass, furniture knocked over. And she was... I called her name, and she didn't move. I checked her pulse, and she was still warm. Her blood was warm. And I saw... the gun. It looked so heavy, but I thought it had to be fake because I didn't want it to be real. Is that why we picked it up? What? Pick it up? I didn't touch that thing. I didn't shoot her, damn it! In what I do, you hear a lot of lies. White lies, blatant lies, hasty lies. Bad lies, especially. For me, it's always been easy to spot a lie, but it can be hard to know what to do about it. I have all the proof I need in my files, but he's nervous and defensive, and none of this works if he doesn't trust me. Stay up to date on the details of all evidence by checking your phone. If your clients notice that you don't know what you're talking about, they'll stop giving you any credit. You did touch the gun, Carlos. That's just a fact because... the prints were of the gun. If you look at the gun itself, it has the fingerprints. It's a fact that your fingerprints are on that gun. What? But I didn't do this. I wasn't thinking. I was just... Carlos. All I'm saying is that you picked it up. That's all. Would you believe me if I said I didn't realize it was a gun? That explains how his prints got on the gun, but not in a way that would satisfy the police. Still, if all he did was hold a gun... So stupid. I know what a gun looks like. But seeing it in my own home, right in front of... You were in shock, Carlos. You still are. The police came in sometime after that. I don't remember much of what they said. Things started moving fast, it seemed like. The rest of my night went probably the way you'd expect. Carlos, you admit to having a verbal argument with Diane, but you said you were surprised to see the room trashed when you got back. Clarify, you're saying that you two never had a physical fight. What, physical? We never fought. We never fought like that. Did the police say that we did? They assumed as much, which means they also assumed that the room was disheveled well before the shooting occurred. Considering what Carlos had told me, what else did they assume? What is it? I'd like you to take a look at something for me. The crime scene. Oh. It's an AR module built from data taken as the police entered, so... Right, it's just that. It's just data, Carlos. No grisly details. Okay. Let me see it. Take your time. Alright, I think I've got it. That's how the police found things. Now close your eyes and think back to how the room looked when you left. Try and focus on what's out of place. Alright. I'll take notes. You just say whatever comes to your mind. I don't remember exactly where everything was, but, well, the mirror was upright, of course. That clock was still on the wall. The chair got knocked over at some point, and the bed got tossed, the cushion torn, and the urn fell. Other than that... No, sorry, that's all that stands out to me. I see. Like so. What's wrong? Something out of place? Carlos, you need to trust your instinct. If anything seems off, don't be afraid to speak up. It's just, I guess I just assumed your nuts would be making edits to the AR. Well, I suppose that works too. Oh no, she was too busy drawing! Sorry, I didn't mean. I think your drawing was pretty good considering... I'd like to change the subject now, Carlos. Right. Let's talk about the letter that was found on your desk. Letter? What do you mean? I mean this letter here. Do you recognize it? Because the police are calling it a confession. A confession? But it's just a note to self. Pardon? Look, when we fight, I lose my temper, say things I don't mean to. But this morning, I tried writing things down so I'd have a script to stick to. So I could apologize to her instead of just fighting with her. Carlos, you said in the note that you hurt them. I broke her fidget tubbies. Oh no! Not the fidget tubbies! Her what? Her what? Her fidget tubbies. Yo, the music started up and I get why. These collectibles, ceramic character things, they're supposed to be like tactile. You use them as paperweight or conversation starters. Conversation starters? She loved those things. The music is a little loud. I'm gonna bump it down. They're not worth for them. You can buy them at any flea market or garage sale, but they meant a lot to her. Okay, music is now done. and I broke them. I mean, I was busy at the time, but... But that goddamn piece of shit rental arm, I hardly know where I'm swinging it half of the time. Got so angry I just ripped it off and toasted it in my room. That cheap, dusty, worthless... Alright, cool. Okay, let's say he did break her fridge or duckies with his replacement arm. What does that change? Nothing at the moment. There's not enough detail in the note for me to prove that what his intent was when he sat down to write it. But if the police insist on claiming it's a confession for the Heartbreak killings anyway, couldn't even bother to sweep them up, I feel so... Alright, Carlos, thanks for answering my questions. I'm going to call the police back in here, and I'm going to get this cleared up for you. What? That's it? That's it? Oh, okay. Although, before I do that, I do have to ask, what do you know about the Heartbreak Killer? Heartbreak? You mean that psycho that was trending all month? I mean, as much as anyone, I guess? I haven't been getting out much, but I'm sure everybody's on edge. A guy like that out there. He shoots people through the heart, right? Police kept the victim's appearances far away from any upstanding news sources. So unless he was already following the murders, Carlos wouldn't notice any resemblance to his girlfriend. I mean, she was shot in the chest, but that doesn't mean anything, does it? He's this low on the uptake, he's gonna be a real shock when these officers walk in here and accuse him of being a serial killer. I'll just have to squash that theory, as quickly and definitely as possible. 4:04 a.m., June 5th, 2086. So, while I would love to do the interrogation scene with the cops, that's gonna be it for me tonight because one, I am getting very tired, and two, I am very into this, and I don't know how long it's gonna take for the next thing. So I'm gonna take a quick save here, and we will return to this game to of the Devil in 2 weeks. Yes, again, reminder, I will be busy with helping for Preventathon on the next week, especially on Friday, so I won't have time to stream or have the energy to stream. So this is why I will put back the schedule on stream. Again, you will see me on Wednesday next time, where I will be doing some practice for Preventathon, and also with this beautiful thing that I said I was gonna talk about. I'm gonna be at Hotfix at some point. I'm not gonna say anything else, but I'm back at Hotfix next week, and that's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, more information about the hotfix thing on Blue Sky whenever I'm allowed to talk about this. Otherwise, I hope you're stay tuned for more information. So yeah, next week I'm gonna be there on Wednesday. We're gonna be doing some practice for Preventathon and hotfix, and then no stream until Monday next time, probably. So yeah, I will see you all next time. We're gonna find someone to raid. And I think I already know who I'm gonna raid because she is rarely up at the time when I'm usually streaming. So I'm gonna raid Satan herself. Well, Satan isn't herself, but you know. Yeah. Outside of that, before ads roll in, because I kind of snoozed them a little bit out of nowhere, I will say that thank you so much for watching. That's been a lovely time. If you're really interested in the stream and you don't want to miss another one for the Of the Devil streams, you can totally follow me right now. If you are loving what you're seeing and you want to support the stream, you can always subscribe. Subscribe lets you skip ads, and lets you access the beautiful Larry emotes. Speaking of which, when we're gonna do our raid message, it's gonna be the meow. If you're not aware, meow with a exclamation mark and the cute Larry emote, like this one. If you do not have access to the Larry emotes, it's totally fine. You can quickly buy them on the channel point shop to get access to it. It's a very small price. I am not a fan of big prices on those kinds of things. So yeah, I'm gonna be pretty quick. We're gonna go now and rate Satan. Satan is currently doing a rare 100% run of PvZ, Plant vs Zombies. So I hope you really enjoy that. And I will see you when next stream is coming on Wednesday. Say hi to Satan for me and have a wonderful night. Bye bye.